welcome back. And of course, the program is still New Dawn. And of course, this is still the first segment of the program, Morning Flakes. So this morning, we are changing our gear from the Kagite to Egba culture. And of course, we have our guest in the house this morning. We have High Chief Mustafa Abdulakim Wulabi, the Executive Director, Egbaliganza Project. And we probably have Otun Akpagun Osi Akpagun Laila Body in the house. So discuss the project Egbaliganza. I've been saying Egbaliganza, but I want to know what is Egbaliganza and what's all about.
So
let's start
good morning
from
and welcome.
High Chief Mustafa Abdulakim Owolabi.
Thank you again for having us. Egbaliganza, it's a new word coined by Laila Bode Heritage Foundation.
Okay.
It means simply Egba the Great. When you look at Ganza, in Yoruba we use Ese. Egbaliganza, that means something great. That means something opulent. Okay. Something that will wow you out. That is what Egba people are known for. Cultural-wise, in terms of our attires, in terms of our decor, when you show up, people know here comes an Egba man. It's not arrogancy. We just like to promote what is ours.
I like that, and we can actually see it in you. I mean, the OC is looking very, and the hair here is very, very, radiant. So yes, we can see that.
Yeah. So now, like you said, Egbaliganza is here to promote the culture of Egba. So, and of course, you'll be showcasing everything about Egba in the coming Lishabi celebration. So what's it going to be like at the
What should we expect?
Okay, so thank you very much. Let me start by saying that first of all, this is about the father of Egba land, Lishabi Agbongbakala. And if you see the kind of great work that the Lishabi Festival Committee has done, and of course led by our Kabiyesi, His Royal Majesty, is being such a champion that has inspired a new generation of Egba sons and daughters worldwide to bring in something fresh into Egba land. So it's a breath of fresh air. And I dare say that Lishabi Festival Celebration, working closely with us, we were able to bring in the introduction of Egbaliganza last year, where you will have seen the royal attires, one called Loshi, which is named after an Ogboni High Chief. So you see the Ogboni attire, the tagbe that would normally be hung, we built it into the dress, creating something fresh. Egba's lead, Egba's come first. There's so many first about Egba land. And it was important for us.
Civilization,
absolutely. So you see that attire, then there was a second one that was for the Ologuns, and if you look at those attires, you'll see that there's so much about the Egba people that we're trying to express. But more importantly, we think that under the leadership of our Kabiyesi, Egba land were able to establish a $1 billion fashion industry, for the Egbas and the Yorubas, from what we've started to do. And it's not a time to just speak, it's a time to get things done. And I can assure you that the process has started. Kabiyesi was speaking at a press conference a few days ago, and Kabiyesi was saying that you may not even recognize him when he comes out.
Really?
Kabiyesi is a very fashionable man already. And Egbanjaye, so people need to know how beautiful we are. And you're going to see new attires, you're going to see new caps that we're introducing, they're going to see Abeti only Kabiyesi. No, Egbas are leading. We're bringing new things. So when you see Abeti only Kabiyesi Alake can wear it. Only him can wear it. And only 5 can be made in a year. And before one is made, he has to sign off personally. They're going to see Abeti Oja, you see it. So there's quite a bit of it. Let me not let everything out of the bag. No. There's quite a bit of it.
All of this.
How does that Abeti looks like?
You'll see it. It's Kabiyesi's thing. You're going to see it. They're going to see Abeti. They're going to see each of the attires.
Looking forward to many Abetis.
Yes. Abetis and some other new things that you see that. And so each one is properly documented for history. We're very conscious about how this history is documented. You know, when you see the kind of things that are able to happen here in Egba land, you know, to lead the Yorubas, and of course go across the country and outside the country. I was at the London Fashion Week last year, you know, donning an Egbaliganza attire. It was beautiful in London. You know, we had that at the Lagos Fashion Week. Also, myself and Davido working with Ugo Monia. We had the African Fashion Week, Lagos, last year. And of course, the kind of acceptance of what the Egbas are doing is growing around the world. We're working also with KBC to build a new database of Egbas around the world, young people with talents all over the place for the transformation that the KBC has started. And you can even see already that the the Lishabi committee this year, led by Ashipa, you know, there's a trajectory already, and there's quite a bit of unity that the Egbas are doing forward. So this is a new time. It's a new time.
So this year we should be looking out for the 4 Egbas.
Absolutely.
The Egba,
we're going to talk more about that.
Egbagura and the Owo coming together to celebrate.
It's called our remembering.
Yeah, so coming out this time around to celebrate that warlord, Lishabi.
Absolutely. I want him to touch it.
So one more thing in all this question. Fashion, food, culture is meant to bring people together. We've said it before, we can't say it enough. People that forget about their heritage or culture, what will happen to them? They're going to extinction. Nobody will recognize them when you say them. That is what we don't want to happen to our Egba people, because we have too much, we have invested too much in Nigeria. We have our own government before they moved to Nigeria, before we were annexing to Nigerian nation. So we are not new to governance, we are not new to something special. But if we don't start to promote it, what's going to happen is that it will go into extinction. And we're using this time to reactivate what our forefather has been doing. I'll give you an example. This attire that I'm wearing right now, we're trying to create a whole value chain for it. From the production of cotton to synthesizing of the cotton to making them into fabric for them to use for export. Rather than we importing from them, we will be a net exporter of fashion in its own entirety. And we have created an industry that will help to train young people. Like I do say, when people make something and they make a mistake, the intention is that they're able to make something. And all you need is to train them to be better, to a standard where you can compete with other people around the world. Like he has probably mentioned, fashion industry is a growing industry.
Yeah.
Nigeria has not even taken a bite at the apple. It's about $30 trillion industry. African can make about 30 billion. Nigeria, we don't even know if we are making up to 2 billion yet. But we are creating something that will be made in Egba land, and our intention is to make it from scratch to finish. All in Egba. When you see all the clothes we're wearing, it said made in Egba land. So this is the first time in history that a group of, an ethnic group called Egba people is having their own brand. And conversely, it will help to generate IGR for the state.
Yeah, well.
I'm working with the state government, the tourism industry, and all those people to bring attention to this area of our economy.
Still talking about fashion. What is your Egbaliganza project doing to get rid of the imitations of the Kampalas that we have on store that
there are several ways to go about that, and the approach of the Laila Bode Foundation is to always start to research. We understand things properly. You know, there's a lot that the government has also done. There's a lot that the YDs of this world, you know, of course, Kabesi Alake himself, you know, we're talking a lot about the Chinese are flooding our market and all of that. You know, there's a lot of pushback, you know, but there's a next level to that. It is that we want to preserve the craft of our people. That's a big deal. I know that if a person uses anywhere in the world, if somebody does something by hand, it's more expensive.
Yes, and
you know, we need to be able to protect that. You know, there's quite a bit of legislation that we're able to actually put in. There are a few things that we're also bringing up right now in terms of legislation, new ways out of that. But the bigger part is what we were talking about earlier, where the cotton is done here. You know, where we have a friend, a member of the Egbaliganza network. I'm also the chairman of the Egbaliganza network that produces cotton. Yes. We're going to see him at the Lishabi celebration. You know, and what the chairman of the Dishabi committee, Egba, were talking about it the other day, that people can't even imagine that the coffee that is made in Egbaland is better than Starbucks. Yes. This has been exported to the UK. If you go to the UK now, you can find it. Really? The American ambassador, the UK ambassador, Baba Sanjo, they were all here to see him. Egbas need to be proud of that. So the cotton will be made here, you know, and the right investments. You know, maybe we'll talk about, oh, this is a lot of money. There's no big money for the Egbas when we come together. There's nothing like some amount of money so big. The African market, the African fashion market is 1.2% of the global market. 1.2%, and that's just about $31 billion. So how do we step it up? The Egbas are taking the lead for the Yorubas, for Nigeria, for Africa. So you're going to see conferences in Abeokuta of the African fashion industry. Held in Abeokuta, because we're actually the capital of Nigeria in the world. Yeah. You know, so there's quite a bit of that. You know, so the kind of conferences they're going to be seen here is about knowledge. That's why one of the caps that we've created, recently, the Ologun cap. You know, it's like a bag. It drops to the side. Yeah. You know, we have created something called Ologun Asiko. We tied it. That is what we're doing. That we're no longer just putting charms. In the billions, the billions is, you know, the billions is here. The Egbas are billions. So we tie the knots, and those two knots only high chiefs can actually wear it. So there's quite a bit of that we're bringing to the table.
Okay.
So it's a trajectory.
A runway for
it's called walkway. It's called the walkway. The theme of this year, Egbaliganza, is called Walkway of Kings. You're going to have our kings. Led by our supermodel, Alaki and Paramorula of Egba people, with all of the obas that we have. Olowu is going to be on the runway, and as a mystery man coming, I don't want to unveil that everyone about giving a snippet. We're going to have a lot of dignity. We're going to have our former governors, present governors, and everybody's key into the program. More importantly, how do we scale down the cost of adire making? I was on a program one time, and I talked to them about the use of herbs and leaves to make our dyes. That's what our mothers and forefathers used to have. They don't use this synthetic chemical coming from China. And what is synthesis? They grow those things. We no longer do those things. That's one of the ways we are being eroded. Our culture is being eroded. They grow it there, they synthesize it, package it in a bottle, and give it to us to sell. What we're about to use, what we're about to do now is to start to make those dye in Abeokuta from roots and leaf. How many people know that you can use cassava leaf to make adire? How many people know?
Really?
Yes, it's a lot of these things that we use, that we have locally, that our mothers use in peat and pot.
Sorry, the cassava leaf is supposed to be for the design?
No, some of them are for design. Some of them actually, you can extract some substance from them that you can use in crafting this thing. So a lot of people don't know. So what we are trying to create is a whole knowledge base of how to do this thing here to cut down the price. That's the only way we can discourage China-made products. Because the only reason why people are gravitating towards it is because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper, yeah.
But if you're able to source everything locally, be able to make everything locally, we'll be able to scale down the price.
You know, I think that would also encourage, you know, the workforce in Egbaland. I mean, it
industry. It's a whole industry that you be created.
So that's like a labor market too.
Yes. So that's why we're intentional about what we are doing. It's not just about showcase. The showcasing of the attire or the celebration is just to bring awareness to people that these things, I mean, we wear it. I look good in suit too, but I prefer to wear this. When I go to America everywhere and I wear this, people come to me, the white people came to me and take pictures with me. So that means they admire what we are doing, but we have let it slide and now copy their own culture. So that is the essence of all.
There's a correction that we should also make. You know, when people hear local, local almost means inferior. No, that's not what it is. You know, it is about how, you know, when we build a brand, the Egbas are the first indigenous people to build a single brand for their people. And that's what Egbaliganza really is. So it's about the processes, quality control. So there's quite a bit of that. It's not just to make. These are the kind of things that we're actually bringing in. And that's the difference that you're going to see, ultimately.
Wow. So talking about food, we've been seeing a lot of Egba food. The only one I know is the lafun.
Yes.
Okay, so what other foods do we have?
Oh, a whole lot of them. You've forgotten about fada. This is the capital of so don't say lafu. Lafu is just the swallow part of it. Yes. We have fada, we have mosara, we have egbo.
Mosara.
Which one is Mosa?
Oh, it's a snack. Don't worry.
Okay, Mosa.
We'll give you, when you get to the show, you're going to taste, we have a host of vendors who are specialized in Egba food. They are going to be present at the event. We are going to showcase all those things for people to know that, like for instance, the snack we're going to be serving in our green room is going to be local. We're going to be indigenous. I don't want to use that local food. I don't want to say it's going to be indigenous to us. Of course, we are proud of our moi too. You know, we have special moi in Abeokuta. We have Elewa Ijaye. I mean, you forget? Elewa Chapon. Ijaye also have
you're going to see that brand.
You're going to see the brand. We have a whole array of food that are peculiar to Egba people. Just like our clothing too. So we're going to showcase all those things to bring attention back to what we are not going to let all these things slide. And people are beginning to claim both our food and our fashion. So we are recreating and reclaiming what is Egba. That is what we are going to look up to.
There's some information that we'd like to share with you.
Okay, please go ahead.
And this is important, right? The Egbas are not restricted. You know, a lot of people don't know that we wear skirts. A lot of people, when they see you in skirt, they say, it's a shekiri. You know, it's called yeri. Okay. You know, we have since created what is called yeri akpagun. You know, we're showcasing it. So you're going to see a lot of people because these are things that we do, and then suddenly, you know, people look at us, copy it, and go and do it in another place. You know, it's what it is. So you're going to see quite a bit of those things being called back. And while we're at the capital of Adire, and there's a lot we're going to be doing with Adire, there's something called Asho Egba that is coming. It's a new thread that's actually coming from here. You know, if you look at what Obademola was wearing, you know, when he visited the Queen, you know, the aron was given by the Swiss government. You know, so yes, we can use aron, we can use the many materials that we're able to create. You know, it's about the expression of creativity. You know, not just restricted to materials, and I think that's quite important because some people once you wear something else, you say no, it's no longer. No. It's about cultural expression.
So we should expect lots of creativity,
quite a bit of it.
You know, and lots of fashion at the 38th Lishabi Day.
Of Lishabi Festival.
So
and a lot of dancing and drumming.
Oh yes, it will be a continuation of what we just had in the studio. Yes. So when is this going to happen? Where is the venue? When is this project taking place?
At the Palace on the 5th of April. Let me emphasize this, because there's a lot of commendation that must go to the Lishabi Festival Committee this year. They have basically worked closely with different parties to transform Lishabi celebration. So what you're going to see is a transformation, and the trajectory has already started. So there's a lot of commendation for them, led by Ashipa of Egbaland, and of course the entire people that, and of course our Kabisi Alaki. It's on the 5th of April, and it's around the corner.
And we are not forgetting the state government, through the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. We are working with them seriously to make sure we maximize the profit of the traffic we're going to get from Lishabi. We have created something with the state government where you go into our hotel. We have about 2,000 people registered from overseas, from diaspora coming in. They're going to be in our hotel in Abeokuta Metropolis and the surrounding. So you will see a QR code on each desk of the hotel. So we encourage all our visitors to scan it. That will show them all the tourist attraction area in Egba and the surrounding. We are doing that in conjunction with the state. We are getting all the tourist area. You can just at a swipe know where to visit. They're going to be here for a week. So they should be able to enjoy Olumoro to the fullest. Cultural center with all those historic sculptures and you know, so all those things are what we are working with the state to make sure our museums to make sure we can really generate more revenue for the state and can create more awareness, because next year this Egbaliganza celebration preparation start on day 7. The 7th day of April we are starting the 2026 Egbaliganza, which is going to be I don't know. I don't want to let it out. It's going to be more than what you have ever seen before. We also have this plan
down of the activities for this year, as in the Lishabi Festival.
Yes. Well, Lishabi activities starts on the 31st of this of Monday. Yeah, on Monday. There's going to be different type of activities. There's going to be a visit to Lishabi, Igbo Lishabi, which is where our foremost warlord kind of like subdue himself. That'll be on the 3rd. We have activity for the youth, like Hayo game. We have wrestling for the youth. We have symposium on agriculture. I think the theme is agriculture this year, going back to the land. We want to encourage the youth to go back and start farming. For a nation that is blessed with arable land, why do we need to import food? So KPAD has specifically approved that for us to re-educate our youth about how to grow things that we can eat. Apart from that it saves cost, it's actually healthy to eat things from the ground other than all the synthetic food. Then you have Hero of the Year, which this year is going to be Obademola. That one is there also. Then also we have empowerment for the youth. It is worthy of note that the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosunti Jani, has been gracious to say he's going to set up a program where 1,000 youth are going to be fed during this Lishabi Day. So it's a whole lot going on.
And the grand finale.
The grand finale is going to be epic.
The Baba Demo.
Yes.
The grand finale.
Is this open to the general public?
Yes,
it is. And it's important that people are seated by between 7 and 8 o'clock
in the morning.
Because when Skabisi comes in on Saturday, you come in early, if you're an Egba person, a lover of Egba land, be there very early to enjoy this. It is going to be historic.
We're expecting over 10 to 20,000 people in Abeokuta.
So the Egbaliganza bringing its teas into the Lishabi celebration.
That's correct.
Exactly.
So on a final note, your word for...
Sorry, please let me correct that. Egbaliganza is an official part of Lishabi celebration.
Okay,
moving forward.
So on a final note, your word for Egba sons and daughters in the diaspora that are not willing to come home.
It is a new time.
So please let them know that.
You know, Egba sons and daughters worldwide, we want you to know that a new era has been established. And it's an era that you should know that every Egba person around the world, you are the premium African blood. It is time for us to rally together. It is time for us to turn Egba to what it truly deserves to be. We're not just first, we're not being arrogant about it. It is that we have a divine duty, not just to transform Egba land, but to transform Ogun State, transform this country, and show that the African people have something truly special that can transform this world to a better place.
All right, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. I Chief Mustafa Abdulhakeem Owolabi, the Executive Director, Egbaliganza Project, and of course, OC Apagun Laila. We really appreciate you for coming.
Thank you so much.
And I'm sure, like you said, Egba sons and daughters out there, they're watching, and of course, we've love to be part of
Of course, I'm sure they're looking forward
to the
celebration.
will be there.
Yes, they should follow us on Instagram, Egbaliganza, at Egbaliganza.
Okay.
Yes.
Just on Instagram? Is there any other?
On Instagram, Facebook, all the social media, TikTok, everywhere.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for being a part.
In final notes,
Egbanjaye. Okay, Egbanjaye.
Okay, thank you very much.
for being part of the show.
Yeah, the program is still new done, and of course we're taking a break now to come back for the last segment of the Morning Flakes that is trending.